So yeah, I don't know how it feels to go into the second, third, fourth round. But what can I say is that I put in so much work in the gym and I cut no corners. And when that day comes when I gotta step in the ring with these guys, I'm gonna be 100%. I'm gonna be 100% prepared.
Thank you, Sean. Marquise Johns, you're next, my friend.
Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Edgar. Congratulations on your quick win as well. Just one quick question for you, because pretty much as you mentioned before, you haven't got past the first round in any of these fights. Have the last few fights that you had so far been about a minute and a half? Have you gotten anything that you learned personally just from these fights so far?
I mean, experience-wise, not really, because everything's happening in the first round. But with this fight, I knew Eric Moon. I know what he was about. He was in a lot of big camps. I was in the amateurs with him, so I knew what he was going to bring to the table. I know he had heart. I know he has somewhat of a punch. He's a big guy. He's not small. He's my height. He got a big frame. So, like I always say, man, we worked very hard for this fight, and we got the job done, man.
Absolutely. Also, just a quick follow-up now, because you mentioned you faced Moon in the amateurs. Did he show you
anything
anything different?
I never faced him in amateur.
Yeah, you faced him. That's right. You saw him in the amateurs.
Tournaments together. Like, we was at the same weight at the light heavyweight division. There was a tournament. I was supposed to fight him, and I wound up losing, and he fought the guy. Like, it was a whole big thing.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. Also, just a quick question as well. Just that's my last one on my end here. He was coming at you the first 10 seconds. Was you expecting any of that whatsoever?
I expected. I played that over 100 times in my head. A week before this whole camp, as soon as they said I had Eric Moore, I looked him up. I seen everything he does as far as when he comes out. And I already knew he was going to try to do that to intimidate me, to think like, oh, yeah, I'm here, And I listen, boom, and I hit him. And the first shot I hit him, I seen him stumble, and I saw, oh, shit, it's over.
Got it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Hey, anybody, whoever would like to ask the next question, please raise your hand or indicate. Marcos?
Yes. Hey, Edgar, can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Marcos Villegas with Fight Hub. Hey, Edgar, you've gotten all these first round knockouts so far. Congratulations on that. But is there something that you want to show to the boxing public much more than just your knockouts?
It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I'm ready for it when it happens. I work hard, man, and right now I'm doing what I'm doing because I work hard in the gym. I put in so much work. You guys don't understand. I put myself through hell in that gym. I cut no corners. I listen to my trainer. I listen to my dad, and I work very hard. And this is why I always have this type of outcome, because of my power, but I'm also precise with my punches. Because just imagine if I didn't put in no work in the gym, I'm knocking everybody in the first round. I'm knocking everybody in the first round. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to go and I'm going to fight thinking that I'm that dude. And something bad is going to happen to me because I ain't trained the way I was supposed to for that fight. And God forbid I could get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that always stays behind in my head where I know I have to work harder than my opponent.
Is it at all a goal of yours to meet the record of first round consecutive knockouts? I know Valero had 18 consecutive, and then Tyrone Brunson had 19 consecutive. There's a fighter, I believe, from Syria that has like 20, 21 consecutive. Is that all on your mind to get to that record?
Nah, for me, I already broke it. For my Puerto Rican people, I already broke it. And I know with my people from my island, they love knockouts. So it's me just doing what I'm doing. I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm not in competition for to beat a record. I'm just doing what Edgar the Chosen One Berlanga does, and that's what I do.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Next up, Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene. Go ahead, sir. Jake, you there? I guess Jake is not there. Whoever would like to ask a question, please raise your hand. Rigo, go ahead. Rigo, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Edgar, congratulations on tonight's victory. How would you assess your performance with another first round knockout?
Can you repeat it, please?
Repeat that.
Overall, how would you assess your performance tonight? Obviously, it was a first round knockout, but how would you assess it?
I think I look good. The most important thing, I listened to my coach. Whatever my coach told me in the locker room, I did it. So that's just a plus right there. But I feel like I look good tonight. And there's more to it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still bigger fish to catch out there. There was just another day in the park. I had to do what I had to do. I handled my situation, and I'm gone, and I'm going home my family, and I'm gonna go back in the gym and work.
When you look at the super middleweight division, obviously stacked with talent like David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez, Kevin Plant, who will you think will be the perfect matchup for you down the line? Maybe like a Mexico-Puerto Rico matchup against Canelo, I would imagine.
That's why I did that little. That I put up a picture on Instagram of me and Canelo, because I say that because he has the whole Mexico. I'm gonna have the whole Puerto Rico behind me, and you know that Mexican Puerto Rico rivalry thing is huge. You know what I'm saying? And I know it could generate so much millions of dollars.
Now, tonight being in the bubble, obviously on ESPN platform, how was that environment for you being in this type of environment?
Honestly, I thought it was gonna be a little crazy because a lot of people was telling me like, "Yo, it's crazy in here, bro. Like, you gotta be prepared." So when I came in the first day, I slept. I woke up in the morning. I was like, "Damn, it's not that bad." It's very focusing. You gotta focus. You know, a lot of fighters, when you're not focused, you won't perform right. And for me, like, I felt like I was so focused. I was in my room by myself. I was doing little things here and there. Usually when I'm back home and I'm fighting at the garden or something, I got a whole bunch of people in my room, people calling me, want to see me, take pictures. And that's just all distractions, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we will have J.R. Bell. You are on, sir.
Hey, what's going on there, Edgar? Now, you had this first round knockout, but after the knockout, we saw you in the corner doing push-ups because, as you pointed out, you had like a mistake there that was pointed out when you were talking after the fight. Like, how does that go into you being able to improve after every single fight? Because even though you got the first round knockout, you said, "Oh, I made a mistake here, so I gotta, pay for it with the push-ups and then work on it for the next fight."
So like the December 14th fight, I didn't throw no jabs at all. And I was like, oh, and Uncle Jay was like, "Sobrino, you ain't throw no jabs, give me 20 push-ups." But everybody took it as if it was easy work. But no, it was not that it was easy work. It was for the simple fact that I didn't follow instructions. So when I came out for this fight, I was using my jab. So when I get back to the corner, he's like, "Give me 20 push-ups." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I'll use my jab." He's like, "No, you put down the hand. I didn't see the left hook. I want you to come back with that left hook. You ain't come back with that. And I told you in the locker room to come back with that left hook every time you throw the right." And I was like, "You got it." So we're gonna have
Yeah, I feel you. So it was like once you got that reply, you're like, "Oh," so you had to go down to the floor, man. You had to go down the mat and hit the push-ups. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I had for you there. Thanks.
Thank you, man.
Hey, thank you, Jer. If anybody else has a question for Edgar, we've got one more, and then Oscar will be here momentarily. Jake Donovan, you should be on. I asked you to unmute, my friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jake?
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, Edgar. So, all right, up until 2020, up until the pandemic, I know it was a lot easier for you to stay active, even with the first round knockouts, you were getting fights every couple of months. What do you do to stay sharp, going now 7 months between fights and then only getting 62 seconds in the ring?
Just staying in the gym, man. When they canceled my fight March 14th, I was a little hurt because of the same fight. It was just 2 days before the fight, and I trained so hard for that fight. And I had so many people going, so many tickets bought. It was, I believe, like almost $100,000 in tickets I had, and it hurt my heart, but with the whole pandemic thing, the gyms closed down. Uncle Dre was scared to be outside. A lot of people were scared to be outside because New York, in the beginning, was the #1 state with the corona. And I was still home, you know what I'm saying? And then I got the call, like, "You can fight in summertime." And I was like, oh. So it had calmed down a little bit. And then Uncle Jay called me like, "Yo, we're going to get in the gym." But they made the call, and, a lot of things in New York had calmed down.
Okay, very cool. And then I know you said, your Boricuas, they love knockouts. How important was it for you to represent them? Because, like, I know every Boricua I speak to, like, they always said, like, Puerto Rico just needs a break. Like, earthquakes, pandemic, then more earthquakes. Like, how important was this for you just to represent tonight?
It was amazing, man. I know a lot of Puerto Ricans back home was watching me. And, I'm blessed to be in this position. Every fight I dedicate to them out there in the island because they're going through a lot of things over there, And just every fight I take, man, I dedicate to them and to my family. But it's just an amazing feeling to be where I'm at right now and representing my island.
Thank you, Jake, and thank you, Edgar, for joining us today. Coming up right now is Oscar Valdez momentarily. So if you have a question for him, either raise your hand in the raise hand button on your Zoom or just actually raise your hand and I will see you.
There's a raise hand button on Zoom. Where's this at?
Honestly, leave it to Marcus Vegas for not being able to figure it out. This does not come as a surprise to anybody on this call.
I had no idea there was a raise hand button on Zoom.
Shocker, Marcus Vegas being a pain in the ass. No, I'm kidding, Marcus. We love you. Oscar joining us right now.
Oh,
Come on,
right.
come
Is
on,
that it?
man.
The thumbs up? I don't know
There-
what the
there it
heck.
Listen,
Where is this raise hand button?
our first top ranked bubble Zoom call would not be complete if I didn't send Marcos to hell. So sorry, Marcos, how to do it.
Oh, okay. I found it. Freaking technology.
Hey, we got Oscar sitting down right now. Raise your hands if you'd like to ask a question. All right. Marcos, go ahead.
Hey, Oscar, congratulations on the finisher, the first man to stop Velez. How did you feel in there, honestly, and were you happy with the way you performed tonight?
Being honest, at first I was a little rusty in there. Did feel like couldn't let my hands go at first. Little by little, I felt like I kept on catching them little by little. And the most important thing that I'm glad that we got the victory. But there's still a lot to learn. There's still a lot to improve. Right now, I don't need no vacations. I'm ready to go back to the gym. I talked to my trainer idea, but something. Let's go back to Guadalajara and let's keep on training.
The ESPN commentary was very critical of you during the broadcast. I'm curious to see if you had a chance to hear that from others in your team, and what was your reaction to that?
Not really. Nothing bad yet. I just got back off the ring. Right now, we'll go back to the hotel room. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna tell me what the scorecard was and how the fight was going. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's criticizing me for now. I'm my best critic. I'm my worst critic. I look at the fights and I judge myself. I always try to push myself to be a better fighter. And I know what I did wrong. I definitely know what I did wrong. Just like I got to throw more punches. I got to put my hands up. I got to work on my defense. You never stop learning in boxing. So right now, like I said, I'm ready to go back in the gym. And let's keep on improving. I'm a very positive guy. Nothing negatives in my life. I try to keep my aura always positive. And I just can't wait to go to the gym and be positive and look for my dream. Let's become world champion.
My last question regarding that, Oscar, is what they said is I feel the essence of it is they feel that you're a fighter that's stuck between two styles, not overly offensive anymore and trying to be too defensive.
I wouldn't know how to react to that. Just try to do it myself. I'm trying to be a better fighter as it is. What I do know is Jason Velez is not an easy fighter. He's an awkward fighter. He had a longer reach than me, and I feel I'm a faster fighter, but there was times in there where I couldn't catch him. Like I said, Jason Velez is not an easy fight to go in there and just knock him out. Good thing I got the knockout, but that's something that nobody's done yet. And I'm just glad I got the victory. Like I said, I'm very positive. I'm ready to go back to the gym and keep on improving.
Thank you, Marcos. Gail, you should be up next. Can you hear?
Thank you very much, Evan. Congratulations, Oscar. Oscar, talk a little about the whole bubble experience and whether you think that affected you, how you coped with it, and if you were concerned at all about any exposure, losing the opportunity, given how difficult this has been for everybody.
It's been very difficult. It's been difficult since training camp. Because in training camp, we weren't only training for my opponent. I was also training, but also being precautious not to get infected. We definitely needed this fight. My last fight was in November, and as everybody can see, I felt a little rusty in there. So I was very anxious to step in the ring. Which, by the way, I'm very grateful with Bob Arum, Todd, Top Rank, everybody, ESPN, because not any fighter can step in the ring right now because of this pandemic. I'm truly blessed to have the opportunity to fight. And sports are barely coming back in. Then they canceled the events, and then they let them back in. So boxing even though it's my sport, it's my hobby. At the end of the day, it's my job as well. It's what puts food on the table. So I'm very blessed that I got the chance to fight, go back home with a little bit of money, and then to help my family. But the bubble was a new experience for me, and all these measures, it was definitely feel a little weird fighting without no crowd. I miss the crowd. I miss everybody who wants to you knock down your opponent, but you knock them down. It pumps up the blood when everybody's screaming and shouting for you, yelling "Viva Mexico," and I really miss that. But at the end of the day, thank God we got the baby. Thank the Lord.
Thank you, Gail. Sean, go ahead, sir.
Oscar, do you think a fight with you and Berchelt would be a Morales Barrera type of war, or is that something you want and that you think it'd be, or is this something you want to avoid? Being with fights that like Scott Quigg in the past, we had to go 10 rounds with a broken jaw.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go for a war with Berchelt. It would be an honor for me. Sincerely, it would be an honor for me because I admire a lot. I admire Eddie Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. Those are the fighters I grew up watching. My idol is Eddie Morales, and they inspired me when I was a kid. So if I got the chance to inspire the new generations, that would be a dream come true for me. Because, like I said, they inspired me so much, and it would be an honor for me to consider that a Barrera Morales fight. And in no way I'm trying to compare myself with them because they're my idols. For me to accomplish something near what they did, it's going to take me a long time. They're legends in my eyes. I got nothing but respect for them. But I definitely feel it's a potential fight to be one of those fights where it's going to be a war like Eddie Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, Israel Vázquez with Rafael Marquez. Those when there's two Mexicans inside the ring, there's always fireworks, and I'm ready to give the fans what they want, which is a war. I think boxing needs that right now.
Thank you, Sean. Next up will be J.R. Bell. J.R., go ahead.
All right there, Oscar Valdez. Just going into this particular fight, how does it feel to be patient until the 10th round to get that knockout? Because you were able to connect with the knockdown in round 5, but wasn't able to quite finish until you were able to break them down until round 10 and finish in round 10.
Like I said, I did feel a little rusty in there at first. I think I blame that to a long period of time that we didn't fight since November. And like I said, Jason Velez is an awkward fighter. I feel I have the reach on him. Little by little, I just try to keep positive. I'm gonna catch him. That was in my mind. Stay focused. Don't make any mistakes because in my last fight, I made one mistake for 2 seconds, and then I got sent to the canvas with an uppercut. Jason Velez was trying to catch me with that uppercut, so I was just trying to be smart in there. Just be patient. On the bench, eventually I knew I was gonna catch him with a body shot or with a good shot to the head. And I just thank the Lord, thank the God that we got the victory, especially by a knockdown. It's just something that no other fighter has done. And he's fighting good fighters before.
True. Now, working with Eddie Reynoso, how is it, working with him at this particular point for this particular fight and then upcoming with your fight against Edgar Berlanga?
No, it's been great working with Eddie Reynoso. I want to thank him for putting the time and the effort inside the gym because we all know that he has a star inside the gym, which is Canelo. And that might take a lot of time for him. But at first, I was a little nervous that he might not have time for me. But on the contrary, Eddie's been right there with me in the gym, putting extra hours, and I'm very thankful for that. And like I said, Eddie has a lot to offer. He has a lot to teach me, and I do feel we're improving in the gym. I just feel that one thing or another, we still need to show it inside the fights, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to put good fights for the fans, and something that is in the future for me. I can't wait to right now step in the ring with the world title is like Check.
Thank you, JR. A couple more questions for Oscar, then we'll let him get back and rest. Jake, go ahead.
All right, thanks. Oscar, congratulations on tonight. I know Gail asked earlier about your experience in the bubble. You said it was awkward fighting without fans. So with that, would you still want to fight Berchelt if we're in the same circumstance and there couldn't be fans in attendance? Or would you want another fight if you could get like another tune-up fight?
I don't want another fight. I want to go straight for the title. I'm very anxious right now. I think about the world title every day, and ever since I was a kid, ever since I started boxing, the title that I always wanted was a WBC title. When I was in school, when I was back home, I used to draw pictures of myself and draw the WBC world title. I used to draw myself. That's the dream that I had ever since I was 9 years old. So I'm hungry and I'm anxious. I'm not getting any younger. You know, I'm 29 years old. I'm ready to go in there and give it a shot. I know it's a tough shot. It's not going to be easy playing like I'm champion. There's a reason why he's a world champion. I know a lot of people are doubting me, you know, because Kamba is a tough fighter, but it's okay. I got no problem. That's just an extra motivation. I want to surprise the world. The dreams do come true. It's been proven before. And nobody's invincible. So I want to go back to the gym, keep on training, and just go straight for the Alcantara check. Fans or no fans, I want to fight them. It would be nice if the fans could go. You know, I think that's a fight that I think the fans would enjoy to be present. But if not, let's do this, man. I'm excited for this, and let's go for my dream.
Very cool. Thanks so much, Ted.
We'll do one more question for Oscar. Anybody else have a question? Raise your hand, and then we'll get him out of here. Sean, go ahead.
Hey, Oscar, touching again on how this could be like a Morales-Barrera type fight. I know you love Morales, but Barrera, like yourself, he could box, but it seemed like because he was shorter than Morales, he knew it was best for him, and he felt it was best for him to make, take the war to him. Do you think that would be more of the style you bring against Berchelt instead of the boxer?
A little funny because, even though when I was a kid, I say my idol was Eddie Morales because that's what it was at that time when they were fighting. I was rooting for Eddie Morales, but it doesn't mean I don't admire Marco Barrera. I actually feel I have a similar looking style than Barrera than Eddie Morales. He's shorter and that, and even though Barrera got the best out of him, I admire Barrera a lot. I know him in person. It's like I said, even though I've always rooted. When I was a kid, I rooted more for Morales. Now that I'm older, I'm more closer to Barrera. Barrera's been a natural, better friend to me. He's been a great guy. I respect him. I got nothing but love for Barrera. I learn a lot from him. Something that people don't know is that every time I'm a fight, I see his fights. I go on YouTube and I see his fights. I try to imitate the way he goes to the body, and then little things he does. Because I feel I have a similar style to him than Eddie Morales, because Eddie Morales has a longer reach. So I always see Barrera fight. I'm sorry, what was the question? I just got a little excited saying Barrera. Like I said, I admire both of them. I really do admire both of them a lot. And that's why I always say I don't in no way wish to compare myself to them, because those are my idols.
It's just that, Berchelt, like Morales in those fights, is the taller guy, a little bit taller, more natural, 130-pounder. So Barrera, even though he could box, he in those fights, he opted to just go after him, make the fight on the inside against, even though Morales was bigger. Is that kind of what more the style you would do against Berchelt?
You said it perfectly. Like I said, every time I want to fight, I look at his fights because I feel like I have a similar style to him. And in a way, that's something that I would actually fight Berchelt. Because Barrera, he could box as well, and also bang. So that's something similar. Sometimes, even though you got a game plan and the fans get excited, that blood pumps up and the game plan's out of the window. And just go toe to toe and just give the fans what they want, which is a war. So I'm ready to do that too.
Hey, well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Oscar. If I didn't get to everybody's questions with Oscar, I apologize. We'll get it next time. Thank you all for staying up late with us, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Thanks all. Have a good evening.